Welcome to the channel. If you're interested in unlocking the secrets of attraction, intimacy, and human psychology, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into a fascinating topic: how the power of touch can instantly excite older women. Most people know about standard erogenous zones like the neck or inner thighs, but did you know there are hidden, often overlooked areas that become even more sensitive with age? As women mature, their bodies undergo subtle changes, making touch an even more powerful tool for connection and arousal. Understanding how and where to touch can deepen intimacy, enhance attraction, and create a truly electrifying experience. Stay with us until the end, because we're breaking down the psychology, the science, and the exact techniques you can use to ignite desire instantly. And if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights into relationships and attraction. Let's get started. Touch has always been a fundamental aspect of intimacy, but its significance deepens with time. While younger women may respond to touch primarily through instinct and immediate physical chemistry, older women experience it more layered and nuancedly. Their bodies change, their hormones shift, and a heightened sensitivity to physical connection comes with these transformations. What once might have been overlooked now becomes a language of its own, silent, powerful, and deeply emotional. Erogenous zones are often reduced to a list of predictable areas: the neck, the ears, and the inner thighs. While these remain universally sensitive, there are subtler regions that become even more responsive as a woman matures: the small of her back, the delicate skin along her collarbone, the soft space between her fingers. These areas may not seem obvious, but to a woman who has learned to appreciate touch beyond the surface, they can be just as electrifying. As her body becomes more attuned to sensation, it is not just the placement of touch that matters, but the intention behind it. A fleeting, absent-minded caress means little. A slow, deliberate touch that conveys presence, care, and certainty can ignite a level of connection that transcends physicality. As women age, estrogen levels decline, leading to skin texture and sensitivity changes. This biological shift makes touch a source of arousal, reassurance, comfort, and emotional bonding. A younger woman may respond most to excitement: fast, urgent, playful. An older woman, however, often craves something deeper. She responds to touch that lingers, reassures, that reminds her she is seen, desired, and understood. What once was primarily physical now carries layers of emotional weight. The way a man touches her no longer sparks desire. It tells her about who he is, how he feels about her, and how attuned he is to her unspoken needs. This is why careless touch, a touch that is rushed, impersonal, or purely mechanical, fails to resonate with a woman who has grown into herself. She has experienced enough to know the difference. She does not need intensity, she needs presence. She does not crave aggression, she craves intentionality. Most importantly, she does not want to be touched as a routine. She wants to be touched as if, at that moment, she is the only woman in the world. A man who understands this does not rely on youthful passion to create attraction. He understands that as women evolve, so must his approach to intimacy. He learns to touch with confidence, but also with patience. He does not rush to create a reaction. He lets the anticipation build. He recognizes that, for a woman who has lived, who has loved, and who has felt the difference between shallow desire and deep connection, touch is no longer just about pleasure. It is about trust, about comfort, about the unspoken language that exists between two people who truly see each other. This is why touch becomes more significant with age, not because the body becomes weaker, but because the soul becomes wiser. Touch is no longer just a message, a feeling, a moment of truth between two people who understand that real intimacy is not about urgency, but depth. And in that understanding, the sensitive man pays attention to how he touches and where she responds most profoundly to a woman's body. One of the most overlooked erogenous zones that can create a powerful connection is the scalp. A surprisingly sensitive area. Few men realize how sensitive the scalp is and how profoundly it can influence a woman's emotional and physical state. Packed with nerve endings, the scalp is one of the most receptive areas of the body to touch. A simple caress, a slow massage, or even the light tracing of fingertips can evoke deep sensations of relaxation and pleasure. This is not merely about physical touch, but the psychological effect it has on her. When done right, it can lower her defenses, deepen her emotional connection, and even create a longing she may not fully understand. The secret lies in how the scalp responds to touch. Gentle stimulation increases blood circulation, releasing a cascade of feel-good hormones, including oxytocin, the very chemical linked to trust and bonding. This is the same hormone released during moments of deep emotional connection, such as a meaningful embrace or intimate eye contact. When you stimulate her scalp with intention, you are not just touching her skin, but triggering a biological response that makes her feel closer to you. It is a subtle yet powerful way to strengthen attraction without words, without effort, simply by knowing how to engage with her body in a way most men overlook. A man who understands this does not rush. He does not treat touch as a means to an end, but as an experience. He moves with deliberate slowness, using the pads of his fingertips to apply gentle circular motions. He knows that a slight variation, a light scratching, a slow raking through her hair, or a soft tug, can shift the sensation from calming to exhilarating. And when warmth is added, whether through heated oil or simply the natural warmth of his hands, the effect is amplified. The true power of this kind of touch is not just in how it feels, it's in what it communicates. It signals confidence, control, and a deep understanding of how to engage her senses. Women are drawn to men attuned to subtle details, who know how to build anticipation rather than rush toward gratification. When a man touches with presence and patience, he leaves an impression that lingers far beyond the moment. And in a world where most men fail to recognize the importance of such details, the one who does will always stand apart. One of the areas of the body where the power of delicate touch is most evident is the back and shoulders, places of deep tension and sensitivity. Women, especially as they grow older, carry an invisible weight on their shoulders: stress, tension, and unspoken worries. This accumulation of daily strain makes their upper back and shoulders discomfort areas and heightened sensitivity. A man who understands this, who recognizes how touch can be both a relief and a form of deeper connection, gains an intimate advantage. It is not simply about physical contact, but about knowing where and how to apply it, transforming tension into relaxation and relaxation into something far more profound. When a man places his hands on a woman's upper back, feeling the tightness beneath his fingers, he can do what few men think to do: ease her burdens without words. A slow, firm kneading motion along her shoulders releases tension and signals something unspoken, that he is attuned to her and understands her in ways beyond conversation. The key is to be deliberate and move confidently but not forcefully. Rolling motions along the shoulder blades help loosen tight muscles, while sustained pressure on the upper spine encourages her body to unwind. But if the upper back holds stress, the lower back is where sensitivity lies. Unlike the shoulders, which bear the weight of responsibility, the lower back is connected to a woman's core, her stability, her sense of balance. It is often overlooked, yet it contains nerve endings that, when stimulated, can elicit a deeply satisfying response. Gentle strokes down the curve of her back, light pressure applied at just the right spots, can shift her awareness from the outside world to the sensation of being fully present with you. This is not just physical, it is psychological. It tells her without words that she is safe, that she can let go. Then there is the art of blending touch with something more intimate. A soft brush of lips against the back of her neck, a whisper of breath along her shoulder, and the subtle contrast between warmth and coolness awaken dormant senses. It is not about rushing or overwhelming. It is about guiding her to a place where tension dissolves, where she stops thinking and simply feels. Most men do not understand the power of touch beyond its most obvious forms. They focus on areas they assume will elicit immediate reactions, failing to realize that genuine connection is built in the places they often ignore. A woman's back is more than just a part of her body. It is a canvas of unspoken emotions. A man who learns to navigate it, who masters the balance between firm and tender, not only gives her relief, but also builds an attraction rooted in something more profound: trust, understanding, anticipation. It is not about technique alone, it is about presence. The way your hands move should not feel mechanical but intentional. The way you touch them should not just be about what you want from her, but about what you are offering her. Relaxation, comfort, and connection. When done right, tension does not just fade, it transforms into something electric, something she associates with you, and that, more than anything, is what leaves a lasting impression. But it's not just the back that's home to subtle emotions. A light touch can have an even more powerful effect in other areas of the body, precisely because they're so often overlooked. The hands and wrists are among them. Delicate, nerve-rich areas. The hands and wrists are among the human body's most overlooked yet incredibly responsive areas. Beneath the skin lies a dense network of nerve endings, each primed to transmit the slightest touch into an electrifying sensation. A simple brush of fingers across the inner wrist, where the skin is thin and delicate, can awaken a cascade of tingling responses that ripple through the body. It is not merely the touch that ignites this reaction, but how it is delivered. Soft, deliberate, and unexpected. This sensitivity is rooted in how nerve pathways connect different body parts. The same system that makes fingertips capable of detecting the faintest texture also links the wrists to more profound sensory experiences. A well-timed stroke along this area can be disarmingly intimate, a form of unspoken communication that bypasses words entirely. A slow tracing of fingers along the wrist, a momentary pause that allows anticipation to build, and the warmth of breath lingering just above the skin. All of these elements work together to heighten the effect. The most potent gestures are often the simplest. Running fingertips along the palm in smooth circular motions can create an almost hypnotic effect, lulling the mind into heightened awareness. A light kiss placed unexpectedly on the wrist carries an entirely different weight than one on the lips. It is unexpected, fleeting, and tantalizingly brief. It leaves an echo of sensation, a moment that lingers even after the touch has faded. What makes this so compelling is not just the physical response but the psychological element. Touching an area not typically the focus of attention makes it feel new, exciting, and deeply personal. The contrast between the delicate and the intense, the fleeting and the lingering, turns a simple gesture into something unforgettable. A well-placed touch at the right moment does not just stimulate the skin, it captivates the mind, and in the realm of attraction, nothing is more potent than that. But why can these small gestures have such a powerful impact? Science has an explanation. As women age, their bodies undergo subtle but significant hormonal changes that influence their physical and emotional responses to intimacy. These shifts don't just affect their energy levels or mood, they redefine how they experience touch, attraction, and connection. The once predictable erogenous zones may become less sensitive, while new areas become heightened to the slightest caress. This is not simply a matter of biology. It is a profound psychological transformation that intertwines with their evolving need for emotional intimacy. The science behind this phenomenon is rooted in how the brain and body adapt to hormonal fluctuations. Estrogen and testosterone levels fluctuate, altering how nerve endings respond to stimulation. The skin itself becomes more sensitive in some areas, while less reactive in others, meaning the way a woman experiences pleasure at 40 will not be the same as at 20. Where raw physical sensation may slightly diminish, touch's emotional and psychological aspects become even more powerful. A simple, intentional touch at the right moment can evoke stronger emotional and physical responses than ever before. Beyond the physical, the psychological need for deeper intimacy grows with experience. Unlike the impulsive excitement of youth, where attraction is often driven by novelty and immediate gratification, an older woman craves a more profound connection. She seeks more than just chemistry, resonance, depth, and meaning. Every touch, every gesture, and every moment of closeness carries a weight beyond the physical. The brain rewires to emphasize emotional security and trust, making a well-timed, affectionate touch exponentially more impactful than mindless physicality. The interplay between the psychological and the physical is what indeed intensifies attraction. A woman who feels emotionally safe, understood, and valued will experience physical pleasure in a way that is far more intense than one who feels disconnected. This is why genuine presence, attentiveness, and understanding amplify the effect of even the most subtle touch. A man who recognizes this and learns to read her body and emotions will have an almost hypnotic effect. He does not need to chase or persuade. His awareness creates an irresistible magnetism. The most attractive men do not rely on empty gestures or surface-level charm. They are the ones who understand that desire is a multi-layered experience, blending physicality with psychology and instinct with intention. They do not seek validation through conquest. They cultivate deep, lasting attraction through presence and awareness. When a woman feels genuinely seen and senses that a man understands her beyond the surface, her response is not just physical, it is undeniable. True intimacy is not just physical, it is an intricate blend of emotional connection and deep understanding. Many men assume that physical attraction alone is enough to sustain a passionate relationship, but the reality is far more complex. Women crave a level of emotional safety that allows them to surrender fully, both mentally and physically. Without this foundation, attraction may exist, but true intimacy remains out of reach. External stimuli do not solely trigger a woman's desire. It is shaped by how she feels in your presence. Her attraction deepens if she senses that you truly see her, not just as an object of desire, but as a person with thoughts, emotions, and vulnerabilities. It is not about grand gestures or rehearsed words, but about presence, attentiveness, and the ability to make her feel understood without judgment. When a woman feels emotionally secure, her physical desire naturally follows. Many men overlook the psychological aspect of intimacy. They focus on technique, saying the right things and performing in a way they believe will impress her. However, a woman does not fully open up when she feels she is being entertained or manipulated. She opens up when she feels a genuine connection. She needs to think that your interest in her is not conditional, that you are not merely looking for validation or an ego boost, but that you appreciate her essence. When she feels this, her walls come down and her attraction transforms from something fleeting to something lasting. Understanding this changes everything. It shifts the dynamic from chasing affection to creating a space where it flows naturally. It eliminates the need for games, strategies, or exaggerated confidence. A woman is drawn to a man who can navigate both the physical and emotional dimensions of connection. The men who master this do not just attract women, they create bonds that deepen over time. For those who grasp this truth, the reward is far greater than momentary pleasure. It is the ability to build a relationship where attraction does not fade, desire remains strong, and connection feels effortless. If you want to experience this level of intimacy, stop focusing solely on the physical. Instead, focus on the way you make her feel. If she feels genuinely seen, safe, and desired, she will respond in ways no surface-level approach could achieve. As we wrap up, it's important to remember that intimacy is more than just physical touch. It's about connection, understanding, and presence. How a man engages with a woman, especially as she matures, can profoundly impact how she experiences closeness and desire. You create a deeper, more fulfilling bond beyond the surface by paying attention to often overlooked erogenous zones and approaching touch with intention and care. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed how specific touches evoke stronger reactions in your partner? What techniques have worked best in your experience? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read them all. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on relationships, psychology, and intimacy. Stay tuned for more eye-opening content, and I'll see you in the next one.